Chicago Bulls are finally back. Maybe, in a way, if you really believe that they had a great offseason. And because you're a Chicago Bulls fan, Riv, I want to ask you this question first. Was the Bulls offseason a win or a loss? And bonus question, can they secure a top 5 seed in the Eastern Conference? Do you feel confident in your Chicago Bulls?
I'm not all the way confident. You know, for starters, I think this was a successful offseason because of the fact that our GM, AK, finally, he walked in and has made more moves than guard packs have made in the past 5-6 years. So I think the fact that our GM is ready to make moves, he's ready to put a team around Zach, he's shown the aggressiveness. I think that alone in itself makes it a successful offseason. Now for the pieces, I think, we got some good guys. We got our point guard that we've been wanting for a couple of years now. We got DeMar DeRozan. We got some bench guys. I like our team. It's going to be tricky to see how it fits, but it really has to just be a year improvement. Pat Will has to make that second-year jump. Zach has to bring that intensity that he was playing with in the FIBA in the USA. He has to bring that intensity back. Lonzo, he has to continue to improve. It's just a lot of improvement from our guys, but I think for the most part, I think we have a really solid team. We have a solid foundation on the bench. It's just really our coaching and the jump from our young guys if they can make that jump. Now, can we secure a top 5 seed? I'm not going to go ahead and say yeah because, like we was just talking about, I think the Bucks are better. Miami's better. I think the Nets are obviously better.
The Knicks.
I think Atlanta is better. There's teams like that. That's 4 teams right there.
You can overtake the Knicks?
I think we're right there in that tier with the Knicks.
Okay.
I truly believe we are right there in that team with the Knicks as one of those guys.
The Atlanta Hawks are that much better?
Just a little bit. I think Trae Young puts them over the top. But I think we can definitely make a run. I think we're going to be in that 6-7 range, maybe sneak in 5, but I'm not going to say we're a top 5 team yet. But we're definitely in that tier with New York.
Chicago's offseason wasn't that good. It's been overrated by everybody because a bunch of big-time names came together. DeMar DeRozan, $85 million contract for 3 years. Vucevic is there. Alex Caruso, 4 years, $37 million. And all of a sudden, Caruso was supposed to be this backup point guard savior for the Bulls, even though I'm not even sure if he's better than Thomas Satoransky, honestly. They might be on the same tier. They are. It's a legit debate.
Thomas started.
Then you talk about Lonzo Ball, 4 years, $85 million contract.
Thomas started first.
Lonzo Ball is getting $20 million per year. What if I told you that Leon Rose got Kemba and Derrick Rose for less money than the Bulls are paying Lonzo yearly?
We probably wouldn't care.
No, I'm just saying Leon Rose is the GOAT, but to the Bulls. They also got Tony Bradley. I like Tony Bradley. I'll be honest. The Bulls' defense last year was not that bad. They had the 11th ranked defense, but most of that was attributed to Thaddeus Young. Thaddeus Young was a very good defender last season, played small ball 5, can switch on every single position. He was a part of that trade to get DeRozan. You traded Thad Young. You traded Aminu. You traded a future first-rounder and 2 second-round picks for DeRozan, who has not been a good defender to this point in his career. The year that DeRozan got traded to the San Antonio Spurs, that year, the Spurs, without DeRozan, were the best defense in the entire NBA. And Kawhi Leonard only played 9 games, so it wasn't even the Kawhi effect because Kawhi wasn't there. When they got DeRozan the very next year, they dropped down to 11 because DeRozan was not a good defender. And that's why they dropped off so much in the standings because DeRozan couldn't, even with Kawhi not even playing that year, DeRozan couldn't make them that much better. With Lavine and Vucevic, the Bulls had a 7-8 record, and I just don't like this fit. You have Lavine and Lonzo, who are fast break transition players. DeMar DeRozan plays at much of a even-keeled pace, doesn't play too fast, doesn't play too slow. He's a steady player, but Vucevic drops the entire thing off. He needs his post touches. If you're throwing the ball into the post, you're automatically going to slow the game down. And Lavine, as a first option, shot 19 times per game. DeRozan shot 15 times per game. Vucevic shot 20 times per game. All of these guys' shot attempts per game are going to drop off significantly. Who's going to take that back seat? Vucevic being the third option, or is it DeRozan? Because we know Lavine's going to be the first option. The Bulls traded a total of 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, with the core young player in Wendell Carter and one of their better defenders in Thad Young for a team that they want to win, that they hope can win right now. And they can't win right now. They won't be better than Brooklyn. They won't be better than Milwaukee. They won't be better than Miami, Philly, Atlanta, the Knicks. So you're telling me the Chicago Bulls went all in to be a 6th or 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. That doesn't seem like a very great offseason to me. But it's good, though, because a Bulls fan like yourself, Riv, you're finally going to be good. You're finally going to have excitement around the city. The difference is that compared to the Knicks, where we got Kemba, we got Fournier, we re-signed our guys. We were the 4th seed. We had no expectations. We have 5 first-round picks in the next 3 years. You traded 3 total first-round picks to get Vucevic and DeRozan. You traded Wendell, who, say what you want about him, he wasn't that bad when he played, and he was still a core young player. And you're about to lose Laurie as well, who was also a guy who was supposed to be a part of that core young group. The Bulls seem like they want to be stuck in mediocrity. They don't have any assets for the future. But sure, it's cool because you're going to have something to root for finally. And we're finally going to see Lavine in a winning situation, which I'm happy to see. But I'm not high on the Bulls. They can't secure a top 5 seed. I don't believe that. No way in no world they can secure a top 5 seed. They'll be a fun team to watch, though. Definitely a league pass team. I'll be tuning in.
I didn't know if you wanted to go back at him because he was making direct eye contact with you.
Because it's like, he said we don't have any assets, but we have Lonzo.
Lonzo's an asset.
Zach is 26 years old. Kobe's still on the bench. We have baby Kawhi. Like, we have young assets. So I don't know where the...
Wait, Lavine, Kobe, Lonzo, and Williams.
Pat Will. Thank you. I'm glad you know his name. Mm-hmm. So we have young assets who we just paid Lonzo. Granted, it was a big contract, but I feel like we had to make that move to...
Hold up. You paid Lonzo. I think to this point we know what Lonzo's going to be.
That's not true at all.
I was hoping that when the Bulls got Lonzo, they were going to let him thrive and let him do him, be that guy.
Why do you think he isn't, though?
That's a good point. What he's going to say is a good point.
When you got DeRozan, it minimizes Lonzo's impact because Lonzo is now the 3rd ball handler on that team.
No.
The same role that he had with the New Orleans Pelicans.
I don't think he's the 3rd ball handler.
Lavine, DeRozan.
He's going to be the primary ball handler that's going to set up the offense.
This is why he's wrong. The reason why we got a point guard was so Zach wasn't
correct.
The number 1 guy with the ball. He's now can play more off ball.
If you would have said the 3rd option, 4th
the 3rd option on offense, he is not going to be. He's going to be the number 1 ball handler.
On the Pelicans, he was relegated to a spot-up shooter role because they had B.I. and Zion. Yes, you will.
Zach is going to play a lot off ball.
Lonzo will be a spot-up shooter in Chicago, and that's why he won't thrive in Chicago.
I don't agree.
You didn't watch us play one time.
He won't thrive in Chicago.
Go ahead. This is your squad.
Well, he's saying we won't thrive because of things that he didn't see. He didn't watch. You
won't thrive because Lonzo is going to be relegated to a spot. I'm talking about Lonzo specifically.
Lonzo won't be that, though.
He won't fulfill his potential because he's going to be relegated to a spot-up shooter role in Chicago.
Why do you think that, though?
Because DeRozan, these past 2 years, has averaged 7 to 8 assists per game. And even so far in Lonzo's career, you look at his numbers and his effectiveness driving to the basket and facilitating, he projects more as a 3-and-D wing more than a primary facilitator of an offense. And I think Chicago got Lonzo because they wanted somebody that can defend at a high level, which he can, and that can spot up and hit threes. He can play make every once in a while, but he's not a better playmaker than DeMar DeRozan. That's not true. He's not a better playmaker than DeMar DeRozan.
That's not true, though. We got Lonzo because we needed somebody to be a playmaker because Kobe wasn't it. Yes, we also got him because of defense.
No, you got him, but then you got DeRozan.
No, I understand why we got DeRozan because we needed another 20-point scorer, but we also got Lonzo because we needed somebody to be a primary playmaker so Zach can play off ball.
Correct.
You need another 20-point per game scorer when you already had Lavine, who's at 27, and Vucevic, who's at 22 and 13.
We need another wing scorer. What's wrong?
They just loaded with talent.
You know what I think happened? I think the Bulls saw what I saw.
What'd you say?
Lonzo isn't a primary facilitator of an offense. We want to use him more as a 3-and-D point guard, which is why we're going to get a guy who the past 2 years in San Antonio has been a point forward for the Spurs to be our pseudo point guard of the offense.
You think we paid Lonzo Ball to be a spot-up 3-and-D?
Yes.
Okay. That doesn't make sense, bro. Like, it legit
I know
doesn't make sense.
It's the Bulls organization. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
It doesn't make sense. I know what the moves you guys been doing, trading your assets, doesn't make sense.
Like, the whole reason for getting Lonzo was so we can have a playmaker next to Zach Lavine.
Then
because
you
Kobe
got
wasn't
DeRozan.
that.
Then you got DeRozan.
What's like? I don't like, bro. What's wrong with you? You can have multiple playmakers on the court. Like, that's better because you can have multiple guys that can make plays. So when the Bulls
play next year and Lonzo is a 3-and-D player and his usage is around the same as it was in the New Orleans Pelicans, when DeMar and Lavine are dominating the offensive possessions. Also, Vucevic needs his post touches. Lonzo is now the fourth option on that team.
Scoring.
He was always going to be the fourth option.
Again, I mean, even for scoring, having the ball, you're the fourth option.
No, that's not true because we can run pick and roll sets with Vucevic and Lonzo. We can run pick and roll back cut doors for Zach Lavine. He likes to do that. We can run off ball sets. Like, you're not making sense. Zach can come off screens now because we actually 100%. Have a point guard that can give him the ball. Zach and Lonzo could run the fast break. Like,
who's a better playmaker, DeRozan or Lonzo?
I never said he was a better playmaker.
No, I'm just asking you.
I think DeMar now is a better playmaker.
So if you guys are designing plays,
but in a fast break situation, I would want Lonzo with the ball and DeMar and Zach running the wings.
I agree.
In a pick and roll situation,
okay, that's fast break situation is completely different.
Okay, but in a half court set, Lonzo has the ball. Zach coming off down screens.
So Lonzo is going to have the ball over DeRozan.
There's going to be a situation where he has the ball over DeRozan. Yes, DeRozan's not going to have the ball. First of all, DeRozan.
So you're counting on Zach Lavine being a completely changed off-ball player now.
Zach wants to play more off-ball.
I agree with that.
But that's what you're saying, though. You're saying he will be that.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not like it's going to be the opposite. It's not like he's not going to be
I think the
all
offense is going to be DeRozan, Lavine. It's going to be DeRozan being the primary playmaker. When that's not going, it's going to be Lavine getting a bucket, isoing, trying to get a bucket. And then the third option is Vucevic getting post touches, which means Lonzo is going to be relegated to a spot-up shooter role. Yes, he'll have his moments.
That doesn't even make sense.
Are you guys expecting Lavine's scoring numbers to go down?
Slightly, yes.
If they
Lonzo averaged 15 last year. Is he averaging 15 next year? If
they wanted to translate into wins, Lavine needs to take a dip in points. Obviously,
I don't even think he does.
From 27, that's a lot to ask.
He's very efficient.
I agree. Definitely, I'm not saying he's not. I just mean in the sense you have Vucevic now. You have DeMar DeRozan. You have Lonzo Ball, who you want to get involved into the offense as well. He needs to take a dip to around 24 to 25. I still think gives your team the best chance to be successful because that means you're incorporating everyone into the offense. I don't believe it's going to be a strictly isolation game with Zach being the ball. I feel as if it's going to bounce off between DeMar and Lonzo, facilitating that offense, getting it going, getting Vucevic's touches down low. That's 100% going to happen.
In this day and age in the NBA, there are very few true point guards. Lonzo is not one of them. What I'm about to say is that offenses now run off the basis that we want the ball in our best players' hands. They are not going to give the ball to Zoe over Lavine. They're not going to give the ball to Zoe over DeMar.
Bro, you're not making sense.
I am making sense.
No, you're not.
You're just not understanding what I'm saying.
No, you're not making sense.
Because Lonzo being the fourth option, what's the difference between being the fourth option and the second option as a playmaker? There's really no difference. If Lavine, there's no difference in the modern NBA right now. There's no difference.
Draymond Green?
There's no Well, Draymond Green has a high usage, and he's the guy at the top of the key.
That's going to be Lonzo.
So
a high usage?
Hold
on. Not going to get used a lot?
Hold up. Last year, Draymond Green filled that role. Who else on the Warriors could do that? Nobody.
Wait, Draymond's been doing that for years.
Okay, you're right. What is Clay? He's an off-the-ball player, so it makes sense. Zach is not that. DeMar is not that.
He couldn't be that because we needed him to be on the ball.
Hold up. Last year, when the Nets traded for James Harden, and I told you James Harden could play off the ball. He did it in OKC. You told me that was 9 years ago. That's why it didn't matter. But I told you he did it. Zach Lavine has never done that. So why do you have faith that he's going to do it all of a sudden?
Because now he's around actual
Because you're contradicting yourself. You said Harden couldn't do it because he didn't do it in 9 years. But Zach Lavine has never done it, and you think he can do it.
He finally has talent now. Harden joined KD and Kyrie. He had to do that.
I mean, he can play off the ball. That's not the point. Harden could always play off the ball. I'm just arguing his point.
No, but
because you believed Harden couldn't do it.
That's a different
You
situation.
didn't believe Harden could do it, even though he did it.
That's a completely different
It's not
situation.
different.
First of all, that was dumb because James Harden and Zach Lavine never experienced the same amount of touches. First of all, that was just dumb. They're not even in the same situation. Second of all, I'm saying it's different because Zach Lavine, it's a completely different situation.
Okay, let's get down to the point. Lonzo averaged 15 points per game last year. How many assists did he average? Around 6. You can search it up, but just fact check me. Okay, around 6. Okay. Is he going to average more than 15 and 6 per game next year?
I say more.
If you say yes, that means you believe he's going to take a bigger role. If he doesn't average that, or if he averages less, you're wrong.
I would say more than 6 assists. I don't know about the 15 points.
So if he doesn't have that, you're wrong.
I'm wrong in terms of what?
You're wrong that he's not being used in the offense because you're expecting Zoe to take off.
So no, I'm not saying take off like goddamn he's an all-star, but you're saying I'm telling you one thing, he's not going to be.
No, he's saying that he's going to be used.
You're saying that he's
a fourth option. He's going to be relegated to the spot of 3-point shooter role.
You said that he is a fourth option, ball handling. You said that also.
If you don't have the ball, hold on. If you're the fourth option as a scorer, that means you're the fourth person that gets the ball. That means you're the fourth person that's able to do something on offense.
Wait. Was Kyle Lowry the fourth option in Toronto?
Last year?
Yeah. He was like the third, right?
He was the third.
But who's the first person that gets the ball, guy? It was who? Lonzo's
not Lowry.
No, but it was who, though?
But Lowry's
that's your whole point. That's your whole point.
No, it's not. Because
because he's the fourth option or
you want to know why that doesn't make sense?
The ball.
You want to know why that doesn't make sense?
Bringing the ball up. He isn't going to be the one getting. What do you want?
Well, of course. You want to know why? You know why that doesn't make sense? Siakam is a forward. Vucevic is a center. You're right. That's why if Lonzo was just signed with Lavine, I'm fine with it because it's a 2-guard game between Lonzo and Lavine. But now in Toronto, with Kawhi, Lowry, and Van Vliet, who was getting the ball? Kawhi, right? Kawhi was getting the ball, right?
It's about 2019.
2019, yeah. Kawhi was getting the ball. Siakam was the second option on that team. Lowry averaged 14 that year because his role was significantly decreased.
Because he was setting everybody else up.
And what did that translate to?
Yes, but also the fourth option on Toronto wasn't as good as a playmaker as Lowry is. Right now, Lonzo is going to be having to compete with DeMar and Lavine for touches.
The fourth option on Toronto wasn't as good as a playmaker. Kyle Lowry, what you talking about?
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry, Kawhi, and Siakam. It was a 3-man game between those 3 in Toronto.
Right.
Even with that fact, Lowry averaged 14 and 8.
Right.
Zoe is going to be the fourth guy on that team in terms of scoring. We got to get to the. It's just getting the ball regardless. It's just getting the ball regardless.
He's gonna have the ball.
It's just getting the ball regardless. They are not going to
inbound him the ball.
They are not going. They are not going to give the ball to Zoe over Lavine. As bad as Lavine wants to play off the ball,
obviously.
As bad as Lavine wants to play off the ball, they are not going to give the ball to Zoe over Lavine. Are they going to give the ball to Zoe over DeMar? The difference in Toronto is that it was a 2-man game. There were 2 guys who were capable of running that offense.
Cool.
In Chicago, Kawhi and Lowry, you had 2 options.
So we have 2 options.
No, you have 3. Well, you have 3. You have Vucevic, who's in the post, but you have DeMar and Lavine. Lavine is not going to be this off-ball player all of a sudden.
Wait, but what makes you think he's a better playmaker than Lonzo?
Lavine?
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a better playmaker, but I'm saying that
the whole point of us bringing all these guys in because we didn't want Lavine to have to create everything for himself. You understand? Like, you understand that part, right? Because if you understand that part,
but this is what you're not understanding.
No, I get what you're saying,
Lonzo was brought in at first to do that. But once you brought in DeRozan, it minimizes what Lonzo's impact is going to be.
DeRozan has played with point guards before. He's been in the situation with point guards.
DeRozan's game has changed since Toronto.
Bro, DeJounte Murray was able to average 15 and 7 with him. What?
And they didn't have LaMarcus Aldridge the entire year.
Lonzo is a better playmaker than DeJounte.
You're talking about San Antonio, DeMar, and DeJounte Murray, this 2-man game. But in Chicago, it's going to be Vucevic, DeMar, Lavine.
And Vucevic literally opens up the floor and creates more open looks for other guys, bro.
Well. They can space.
Wait, hold on. Okay. Oh, my God. What the hell? I'm talking to a goddamn wall. Vucevic opens up the floor for other guys. The part of that floor being opened up results in what for Lonzo?
More pick and roll opportunities.
No, I'm just saying he opens up the floor. So I'm saying, let's say you give him a touch in the post. He's posting up.
Why do you think he's going to always get a touch in the post?
I'm not saying he's always going to get it, but he's definitely going to get it.
He is, but why do you think he's always going to get a touch in the post?
I never said he's always going to get a touch in the post.
Because you're making it seem like Lonzo's never going to touch the ball and be able to create opportunities.
No, I said
bringing him in to
I never said he's never going to touch the ball. I said he's going to be the fourth guy to touch the ball.
So you're saying Lonzo's bringing the ball up, and then the offense is going to go through Zach, then DeMar, then Vucevic, then Lonzo.
I think DeMar will be the primary playmaker on Chicago next year.
And you think that's what's going to happen?
I think Zoe will be relegated to a spot-up shooter role.
Okay, so if he's not relegated to a spot-up shooter role, you're wrong.
Of course I'm wrong if he's not relegated to a spot-up shooter role. But if he doesn't average more...
I don't agree.
If he doesn't average more than what he did, assist-wise or points per game-wise in Chicago, I'm right.
How does that even make sense? Because if he's not a spot-up shooting role, if he can put up the same numbers and still not be a spot-up shooter. You do know that, right? Like, you understand that, right?
So we'll check usage. We'll check all these other stats. Okay. We can check all that stuff. All those
you
stats.
said you was gonna watch it, so you can watch and pretty much clearly see.
I mean, I can watch it and see, but I'll see that I know Chicago's going through Zach. They're going through DeMar. Then they're going through Vucevic before they think about Lonzo.
But you can go. But do you know what? Like, Zach Lavine. Zach Lavine is the type of player, bro. Zach Lavine is the type of player where, perfect example, not even perfect example. Phoenix, right? I'm not saying Lonzo Ball is Chris Paul. But they ran their offense through Devin Booker. But Devin Booker didn't always have the ball, bro.
They ran their offense through Chris Paul.
He can come off the screen. No, listen. They run their offense through Devin Booker, but Chris Paul is the primary ball handler.
Correct.
Devin is coming off screen. He's hitting back through. That's what Lonzo's gonna be. Like that's what Lonzo is gonna be, bro.
They didn't run their offense through Devin Booker. They ran it through Chris Paul.
Okay.
Chris Paul ran the offense.
But who was the primary offense on the team?
Devin Booker was a scorer.
He was the primary offense.
But Chris Paul was the guy that, you look at the usage percentage, look at the usage. Chris Paul was the guy who was getting into pick and rolls with DeAndre and creating for everybody else. The difference with Phoenix is that outside of Chris Paul, who can do that? Nobody. In Chicago, it's going to be DeMar. They're not going to look at Zoe before they look at DeMar. It's going to be DeMar.
No, bro, you're not.
It's going to be DeMar and Lavine. Then it's going to be Zoe.
Why would you keep thinking it's going to be Lavine?
Because they're not going to relegate Lavine into a off-ball, spot-up shooter guy coming off of screens. They're not going to relegate him to that role.
You literally just said he's going to be a spot-up shooter.
Lavine?
You said Lonzo's going to be a spot-up shooter.
I'm talking about Lavine right now.
He did. He is.
Oh, why?
Yeah, so you have to listen better.
Why isn't Lavine going to do that?
Because he's never played that way in his career.
We have a whole new coach. We have a whole new GM. We have a whole new team.
Do you think they just wasted $20 million a year to not run Lonzo a specific?
Yes.
No, stop talking because he did it a little bit last year with Sainer.
You want to know why?
He did it a little bit last year. So what is he talking about?
You want to know why?
What? He didn't watch us one time.
Because the Bulls paid Lonzo, and I can guarantee you they had no assumption or idea that DeMar was going to sign with them. Because DeMar this entire offseason has said he wants to play for a winner. He wants to take less money to play for a winner. Then he goes to these lovable losers in Chicago. They're not a winner. He takes a big-ass contract. Now, because they have DeMar, Zoe's role gets decreased, whichever way you slice it. When you have three prolific players, three all-star caliber players, in Lavine, DeMar, and Vucevic, Lonzo is going to be the odd man out in that offense. If you think he's going to run the offense over these guys, you're crazy.
He's a point guard.
Over Lavine and over DeMar, he's not going to. You're crazy.
When DeRozan was on the Raptors and his point guard was Kyle Lowry, he averaged 4 assists the most. He went to San Antonio where he needed to be the primary ball handler.
But the thing is that DeMar in Toronto wasn't that playmaker. He improved significantly in Toronto, in San Antonio.
Because he
needed to be.
Oh, okay.
He needed to be.
But he improved significantly in San Antonio.
Just say it one more time.
Yeah, he needed to be.
But it doesn't matter. Now he's that player. Now he is that player.
But like you said, James Harden was able to go and completely change his game going from one spot to another. It isn't in this realm of possibility that he changes his game to be more offensive geared.
Even Harden didn't significantly change his game, though, because when they first made the trade, I thought Harden was going to be relegated to more of an off-ball role. But then when he got to Brooklyn, what was the first thing that happened? Kyrie came out and said He's a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
So Harden got that cosign, I have the ball all the time. So he didn't have to change his game from Houston. I've said it multiple times. Harden's playing the same way he did in Houston. He's just taking less shots, and that's why he's more efficient. He didn't have to change his game in Brooklyn. He just became the primary ball handler, and Kyrie went into his natural position.
So wait, did Harden play off ball or no?
He didn't play off ball in Brooklyn.
So you were wrong.
So then I'm wondering where.
No, I was wrong. I was wrong about him playing off ball because I thought it was going to happen with Kyrie being the point guard.
So
but
you said,
in terms of the fit, I was totally right about the fit.
I'm just going back to when you said that Riv said that he couldn't play off ball because it's been a year since he's played off ball. But
no,
he
yeah,
didn't have to do that.
we've seen it from Harden though before, and even in Houston with Kevin McHale, we've seen it as well.
So we've seen it with DeMar that he could be a primary scorer, and then when he doesn't,
sure, but even in Toronto, when you're the second scoring option and you're averaging 4 assists, that's not too bad. When Kyle Lowry is the main guy and you're averaging 4 assists still, that's not too bad.
So
is
it in the realm to say that maybe DeMar is going to be comfortable with Lonzo being a primary ball handler?
I think right now, when you have been watching the Pelicans and you have been watching the Lakers throughout the years and you watch Zoe play, Zoe has never been that primary ball handler outside of his rookie year where he got a couple runs. But then that second year when he played with LeBron, he never got a chance to be in that position. When he got traded to the Pelicans with Brandon Ingram, he was the guy. Then this past season when Zion was the point forward in New Orleans, Zoe has never shown us he can be the primary or secondary ball handler on a team, and that team can thrive. That's why I'm under the assumption that one of these two things happened. Chicago saw Zoe and saw untapped potential, and they gave him a huge contract. And that's fine. But then they were totally caught off guard when DeMar was like, I'm open to play in Chicago, not knowing how it would affect Zoe. The second thing is that Chicago's front office believes that Zoe's more natural position is a 3-and-D point guard, which is why they went out aggressively to get DeMar DeRozan to secure a sign and trade, because they know DeMar can be our playmaker for our offense. Lavine is still going to get his ISO touches and do what he does, and Vucevic is going to be fine. And that makes the most sense because based on their roster construction, when you have Vucevic playing the way he plays, being able to suck in the defense and create double teams, it's going to lead for open shots for Zoe, for Lavine, for Williams. DeRozan from the mid-range, that's fine. DeMar being a playmaker, it's going to lead to more opportunities for Zoe on the outside. Yes, Zoe's going to get some opportunities, but Chicago's not going to give him the ball over DeMar or Lavine. It's different when it's a two-man game. In Toronto, Kawhi and Lowry, two-man game. Portland with Dame and CJ, it's a two-man game. But once you have three guys, guards basically, because DeMar DeRozan, he's transitioned to a forward, but he's really a more natural guard. When you have three guards now, one guy's going to get left out. It's not going to be Zach LaVine, and it's not going to be DeMar DeRozan.